So about a week ago, RFK Jr. made a tweet saying he had a big announcement, and he then announced that he is supporting Donald J. Trump. So he will not be on the ballot for 2024. I mean, if he is on the ballot, it'll be because people choose to keep him on the ballot. But he is backing Donald Trump to take on the corrupt establishment. Trump is reportedly also in talks with RFK about making him possibly CIA or FBI director, which would be interesting because RFK does believe that the CIA and the administrative state was partially behind his uncle and his dad's death. So if he's their boss, we could actually see the upsetting of this apple cart. It may be that the deep state actually gets kicked out because I don't think RFK would play around with that. I think RFK has the right motive, the right motivation to go after the establishment. Also, it'd be really cool if he's not in that job to see him over the FDA or something having to do with medical vaccines in our health. I could see him doing that because he's kind of a nerd about that stuff, and I think he has the knowledge. And I tend to agree with much of what he says. If you haven't heard his visit on the Joe Rogan Experience, you really are doing yourself a disservice. Go listen to RFK Jr. on the Joe Rogan Experience when you're done listening to this show. So I really am excited to think about that possibility. But then something started to happen. I'm just talking about allying about certain issues. That's what I'm excited to see. But then, and it made me very frustrated, a number of Americans started saying, JD Vance is kind of weird. JD Vance is not extremely well spoken. JD Vance is kind of awkward. JD Vance isn't this. JD Vance is that. And started saying, you should have put RFK Jr. as your running mate. And people were even tweeting, comment if you think that RFK Jr. should be Trump's running mate instead of JD Vance. And thankfully, there's some people that are pushing back against this and saying, heck no. The guy is a good Democrat. He's a Democrat, though, but he's a good one. In many ways, he's good. But on several issues, he's not good. And so there's been a lot of talking about this. And it frustrates me because perfect enemy of the good every time. That's what Pete Quinones said about a different issue. But it's true about this one, too. So many people were like, well, we need to have Tucker Carlson as Trump's running mate. Some people went even further than that. They wanted someone that was really hardcore, someone that would not allow Trump to get elected, someone that would hold him back, someone that's more of a Buchananite, someone that's more of an Ann Coulterian. Now, I want someone that's a Buchananite in office and in power, but we have to understand we are on a journey. Trump winning in 2024 will make it much easier for a candidate like that to win in 2028. Someone that is like Vivek Ramaswamy winning in 2028 will be much closer. And in fact, I think that may be what Vivek said to himself was after Iowa, he decided, if I back out, if I drop out and endorse Trump, I can get his blessing for 2028. And I can get the Trump voters in 2028. By and large, there'll be some exceptions. That would be really cool to see. But that being said, I don't really want Vivek to run again because he's a Hindu, and I have a problem as someone that wants Christianity and Christian values in our party specifically, but also our country. I wouldn't be able to vote for Vivek. I could not. So that being said, we're on a journey. We're on a trajectory. And this also is true of the pro-lifers. So, when it comes to JD, I'll just say quickly, the guy is closer to us than anyone else. Nikki Haley was a zero, just a complete loser, a zero, and got owned consistently by Vivek Ramaswamy. It was a beautiful sight to see, I will say. That was something I give Vivek huge credit for. Great job taking Nikki Haley to task. But the thing about it, guys, is, and here's the important point, JD is not being advised by Haley or Sean Hannity, Karl Rove, or the Bush family. He's being advised by Curtis Yarvin. And Curtis Yarvin is our guy. Curtis Yarvin is reactionary. Curtis Yarvin is a political radical like we are. And that's what we need. We need someone who's willing to get in there and take down this evil, corrupt power structure. And we finally have someone in the president's ear, the future president's ear, who is hearing from a political thinker that we actually need, Curtis Yarvin. And that makes me very happy because I really like Curtis Yarvin, as many of you know. And so we need someone like JD in there. JD also is right about trade. He's not going to sell American jobs overseas. He's also right about immigration. He talks about mass deportations being needed. He's also been on the Tucker Carlson show talking about how we need to stop giving money to Ukraine. JD gets it. JD is in many ways the same as us. He wants an America first foreign policy. So I really like JD in that, and we all should support JD remaining Trump's running mate. That's a very important thing. Now, the other thing that's important is this. So JD Vance said in a statement that Trump will veto a national pro-life law, meaning a law that is across the board for the entire country. Vance's statement echoes Trump's messaging. This is what I'm reading from ncregister.com, which has been consistent since April that he considers abortion a state's issue. Days after former President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social that his administration would be great for women and their reproductive rights, Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance confirmed that Trump would veto any national law to protect unborn life. This follows the Democratic Party's national convention on August the 19th to the 22nd, in which speakers, including now presidential nominee Kamala Harris, emphasized abortion, which they refer to as reproductive rights, as a core issue in the 2024 election. Think about this. So Kamala Harris is saying abortion, meaning reproductive rights, is what they say in their words, is a core issue. Not fixing people's gas prices, not helping inflation come down, not having a safer world, not having a safer country by cracking down on crime, not the opioid epidemic. No, we're going to look at abortion. That's the issue that I think everyday Americans really care about. She's so out of touch, it's a joke. Vance was asked during a Sunday interview with NBC's Meet the Press whether Trump would support a national law banning abortion. Democrats made the case this week and beyond this week that Donald Trump, if elected, will impose a federal ban on abortion if he wins. Now, Donald Trump says he won't, but can you commit, sitting right here with me today, that if you and Donald Trump are elected, that you will not impose a federal ban on abortion? Kristen Welker on NBC said. I can absolutely commit that, Kristen. Donald Trump has been clear about that as possible. As clear about that as possible. When pressed whether Trump would block any national law to protect unborn life, whether at 15 weeks or at conception, Vance said, I think he would. He said it explicitly, that he would. So he'd block it. So, yeah, this is consistent in the sense that Trump has said it's a state's issue and I'm for exceptions. This is what Trump has said. He's for the exceptions of rape, incest, and the life of the mother. He believes it's a state issue, which, guys, the important thing to remember about this, and I'm about to end this segment, is this war on the unborn began years ago, decades ago. The war to protect our unborn is also going to be a decades-long process. And there's people out there who think we are going to win and beat this now. Not going to happen. We have got to, over time, take back our state. I need to work on it in South Carolina as well. Make sure our governor is pushing for more and more pro-life legislation. It would also help kick blue people out of our state. They would say, you know what? I don't want to live in South Carolina. They're not pro-choice enough. And they'd go live somewhere else. Good. Get out of here. We don't want you in here. Get out of here. Go live somewhere else. Go live up in New York. Go live out in somewhere that's not our problem. We don't want you in South Carolina. That's my mindset. We need to have a South Carolina first policy. We need to have policies in South Carolina that are very, very, very conservative, ultra conservative, really further than that. But anyway, that's an important thing to remember, is we need Christian rule in South Carolina. We need Christian rule in America. And Trump is not opposed to Christianity. Trump is friendly to Christianity. He's not the strongest Christian, and he's not exactly in lockstep with the pro-life movement on every issue. But he's an ally. He is going to advance the pro-life cause, not the pro-choice cause. He will fight the pro-choice cause. He did from 2017 to 2021, which is technically when he was in office, early 2021. And he will again. And also, guys, there's more issues at stake than abortion. Yes, I get it that it's literally murder, but people dying in a war is also an issue. And Kamala Harris is a tool, a plant, a puppet of the military-industrial complex. Trump has flirted with it before, but he is not controlled by them. Trump is in control of himself and will ultimately do what he thinks is best. And that we need a guy like that in office. And again, he has done more for pro-lifers than any president by going to the March for Life for anti-abortion protesters and by overturning Roe v. Wade with who he appointed to the Supreme Court. People like to undermine that and downplay that and say it's not a big deal. It's a very big deal. He's correct when he talks about it. People talked about it for decades. Oh, we need to get this overturned. he was the one that actually got it done. And so people are missing people, and I'm not going to call out names per se because I want to be careful about gatekeeping, but there's pro-lifers that are saying, well, he's not, completely 100% pro-life, so I can't vote for him. Well, okay, but look at his opponent. His opponent is way radically worse on abortion and worse on every other issue. We don't want her in office. We want Trump in office because he will do a better job about fighting for pro-lifers than Kamala Harris will. She's not even going to try. Trump at least will try. So don't miss the forest for the trees. Look at the whole forest. Have a 10,000 foot view, not a 200-foot view from the ground. That's the important thing. You got to look at the big picture, guys. We need the pro-lifers in the voting booth to win for 2024. Trump is not going to fix everything, but at least he'll give us some time to win 2028 and beyond so that we can actually take back our country and institute Christian